Battlefield 1's formula for large-scale, objective-driven warfare is as intense and theatrical as ever against the haunting, archaic backdrop of World War I. In this review in progress, we're looking at its single-player campaign, which is a pleasantly surprising anthology of short stories that do a good job capturing the look and feel of the nightmarish conflict. Very basic mission structures hold the gameplay back from being as compelling as its multiplayer, but still do a good job showcasing some of the era's most iconic weaponry and vehicles. This vignette-style approach to single-player allows Battlefield 1 to touch on the more underexplored theaters of World War I. Its short prologue and 5 war stories, each lasting about 30 minutes to an hour, are a harrowing journey from the bleak, muddy fields of the Western Front to the sun-baked deserts of North Africa. They never delve into the political complexities of the war, but they do tell the sad human stories of the people who fought it with effective power and grace. In a grim reminder of the war's casualties, the prologue mission shows you a name, birthday, and date of death every time you die before dropping you into the perspective of another soldier. Sometimes it felt forced, and I was killed awkwardly when I lived longer than Battlefield 1 wanted me to, but it works to establish the tragic tone. The first real mission is a decent intro to Battlefield's conquest mode and vehicle combat, but by far the weakest when it comes to character. I was unimpressed by the cliché leap from rookie Mark V operator to one-man army, but it did result in some intensely fun tank battles. Unfortunately, it was also the buggiest mission for me, with a few events failing to trigger correctly. The much stronger second level is full of high points, both figuratively and literally. Battlefield 1's biplanes are a freeing experience to fly. They cut through the air smooth as butter and control with ease and precision. Gunning down German aces amid the heavy fire of anti-aircraft trucks was thrilling. A later on-foot segment is open enough to allow for stealth, but the AI is a little too dumb to make that a challenge. It's much more fun to go in guns blazing and get a chance to sample the selection of World War I weapons, which force you to change up your tactics by severely limiting ammo. At the end of it, I enjoyed how my more absurdly epic exploits, especially the part that involves an extravagant aerial battle against 2 enemy airships, were smartly subverted by the cheekiness of an unreliable narrator. Later levels preserve this balance in their own way. Your adventure as an elite Italian soldier braving an enemy fortress to save a friend is recounted with quiet sadness from father to daughter. In the last and most pleasantly surprising level, you take on the role of a Bedouin rebel as she fights alongside Lawrence of Arabia for freedom from the Ottomans. Each character in each war story is fighting for something much smaller than the war itself, and that shines through most vignettes with a beautiful, sad power. Overall, Battlefield 1's single-player campaign is a decent series of adventures with a handful of memorable highlights, but they serve mostly as a way to sample some of the vehicles, elite classes, and firearms you'll be using in the much more interesting multiplayer. Our review in progress will continue this week as I put in more time with the very promising multiplayer modes. For more on everything Battlefield 1, stick with IGN.